The Atharvaveda, hymn 745, 2 verses. Brought hitherward from Sindhu, from a folk of every mingled race, fetched from afar, thou art, I deem, a balm that cureth jealousy, as one with water quencheth fire, so calm this lover's jealousy, like heat of fire that burneth here, or flame that rageth through the wood. And as much as pure racial types actually do exist, they are combinations of previous subspecies and races. Hymn 746, 3 verses. O broad-tressed Sini Valley, thou who art the sister of the gods, light beings, accept the offered sacrifice, and goddess, grant us progeny. Present the sacrifice to her, to Sini Valley, queen of men, beautiful fingered, lovely armed, prolific, bearing many a child, thou who as queen of men art Indra's equal, a goddess coming with 1,000 tresses, to thee our sacrifices are performed. O consort of Vishnu, goddess, urge thy lord to bounty. And, well, people focus on differences, right? But there's a lot more differences between the male and the female than people tend to notice or admit. 747, 2 verses. Oft in the sacrifice with favored cry I call Kuhu, beneficent goddess, skilled in all her works. May she vouchsafe us wealth with every boon, and give a hero meet for praise who gives 100 gifts. Kuhu, the queen of gods, in immortality, called to assist, enjoy this sacrifice of ours. Let her, desirous of our worship, here today, may she, intelligent, give increase of our wealth. And of course, the light beings are given every ability to fulfill their category of being. Hymn 748, 2 verses. I call on Raka, with hair laud and reverent cry. May she auspicious hear us, and herself observe. With never breaking needle, may she sew her work, and send a glorious man who gives 100 gifts. All thy kind favors, Raka, lovely in their form, wherewith thou grantest treasures to the man who gives. With these come thou to us this day benevolent, O blessed one, bestowing wealth of 1,000 sorts. And I don't know what Raka means. I think there's something in the Bible where you don't say Raka, but that's a different language, so. Hymn 749, 2 verses. May the gods' consorts aid us of their own free will. Help us to offspring and winning of the spoil. May goddesses who quickly listen shelter us, both those on earth and they within the water's realm. May the dames, wives of the gods, enjoy our presence. Rut, Asvini, Indrani, and Agnayi. May Rodasi and Varonani hear us, and goddesses come at the matron season. Well, there's a lot of dividing up the seasons by gendered themes. If you're going to have one gender when you talk about deity or the unfallen angels or whatever, you're bound to have the other genders along with it. And are the equinoxes and the solstices more masculine and the cross quarters more feminine? How would they divide these? Hymn 750, 9 verses. As evermore the lightning flash strikes irresistible the tree, so irresistible may I conquer the gamblers with the dice. From every side, from hail and sick, impotent to defend themselves, may all the fortune of the folk, as winnings pass into my hands, I pray to Agne, him who guards his treasure here. Won by homage, may he pile our winnings. As 'twere with racing cars, I bring my presents, duly with reverence. Let me laud the Marutas. With thee to aid us, may we win the treasure. Do thou assist our side in every battle. Give us wide room and easy way, O Indra. Break down, O Mangavan, the foeman's valor. I have completely cleaned thee out. Won from thee what thou keepest back. As a wolf tears and rends a sheep, so do I tear thy stake away. Yea, by superior play, one gains advantage. In time he piles his spoil, as doth a gambler. He overwhelms with wealth's inherent powers the devotee who keeps not back his riches. May we all, much invoked, repel with cattle, want that brings sin, hunger with store of barley. May we uninjured, first among the princes, obtain possessions by our own exertions. My right hand holds my winnings fast, and in my left is victory. I would that I were winner of cattle and horses, wealth and gold. Dice give me play that bringeth fruit, as 'twere a cow with flowing milk, and as the bowstring binds the bow, unite me with a stream of gangs. And a lot of people think that if you're charitable, or if you offer sacrifice, or you use your material goods religiously, that you're losing. But no, you're gaining. I mean, you still provide for your physical needs, but hymn 751. Brahaspata, protect us from the sinner, from the rearward, from above, and from below us. May Indra from the front and from the center, as friend to friends, vouchsafe us room and freedom. And nowadays they have that friends of friends thing on social media or something like that. And the word friend meant a lot more before. It was like, well, I have 400 people that I've never hang out with. Hymn 752, 2 verses. Give us agreement with our own. With strangers give us unity. Do ye, O Athens, in this place, join us in sympathy and love. May we agree in mind, agree in purpose. Let us not fight against the heavenly spirit. Around us rise no din of frequent slaughter, nor Indra's arrow fly, for day is present. Hymn 753, 7 verses. As thou, Brahaspata, from the curse hast saved us, from dwelling yonder in the realm of Yama, the Asvins, leeches of the gods, O Agni, have chased death far from us with mighty powers. Move both together. Do not leave the body. Let both the breathings stay for thee united. Waxing in strength, live thou 100 autumns, thy noblest guardian, and thy lord is Agni. Return thy life now, vanished into distance. Return the breath thou drawest and exhalest. Agni hath snatched it from destruction's bosom. Into thyself again I introduce it. Let not the vital breath he draws forsake him. Let not his expiration depart and leave him. I give him over to the 7 rushes. Let them conduct him to old age and safety. Enter him, both ye breaths, like 2 draught oxen, entering their stall. Let him, the treasure of old age, still wax in strength. Uninjured here, I send thee back thy vital breath. I drive consumption far from thee. May Agni here, most excellent, sustain our life on every side. From out the depth of darkness we, ascending to the highest heaven, have come to the sublimest light, to Surya, God among the gods. And sometimes a vampire is a very righteous thing, right? And so if you join in what's right, if you combine with the hymn before that, it paves the way for what is wrong to not have its power over you. Hymn 754, 2 verses. We worship holy verse and song by which they carry out their acts. Shining in order's seat, these twain present the sacrifice to gods. As I have asked about verse, song, sacrifice, strength, force, Yajus text, so never let this lore that I have sought forsake me, Lord of might. Do you act out the principles in the hymns, or do you include the hymns among your acts? Hymn 755, 1 verse. By downward paths from heaven, whereby thou hast raised all the world to life, give us in gracious love, good Lord. So obviously they're kind of doing better than what you would think of Christianity's love theme. But they're like, John 3:16 is like, I mean, if you don't have to believe it, you immediately recognize the issues, and there's really not much teachings about that, and more teachings about hate, but they act like, other religions aren't really loving like Christianity is. It's like, I actually think we're seeing something that does better over here. But in 756, 8 verses, whether it came from viper, from black snake, or snake with transverse stripes, or Kaparvan's bite, this herb hath made the poison powerless. Honey-born, honey-dropping, rich in honey, honey-sweet. This herb is medicine that heals the wound and kills the gnat that bites and stings. Whatever bit or sucked thy blood, we summon thence away from thee. Their ineffectual poison of a little sharply stinging gnat. Thou here, who crookest with the jaws, thou tortuous, jointless, limbless thing. These jaws thou, Brahmanaspata, shall bend together like a reed. This scorpion here that creeps along, low on the ground and powerless, I have removed his poison and then utterly demolished him. No strength in thy 2 arms hast thou, nor in thy head, are in thy waist. And what is that small thing thou so viciously bearest in thy tail? The emmets make a meal of thee, and peahens tear and mingle thee. All ye are crying out, in sooth the scorpion's poison hath no strength. Thou creature who inflictest wounds both with thy mouth and with thy tail, no poison in thy mouth hast thou. What at thy tail's root will there be? Now, it's obvious that many methods of cure and substances or plants or parts of animals or whatever that aid towards that, the information has been lost about that, or at least it's not commonly known. Hymn 757, 2 verses. Whatever trouble hath disturbed and shaken me, I speak with hope, I move imploring amid the folk. What harm my body in myself hath suffered, now let Sarasvati relieve with fatness. 7 flow for him, the youth, on whom the ruthless weight. The sons have taught the father everlasting laws. Both worlds are his, both shine belonging unto him. Both move together, both as his possession thrive. And we need to transcend what our bodies have been through. Hymn 758, 2 verses. True to laws, Indra Varuna, drinkers of the juice, quaff this breath soma, which shall give you rapturous joy. Let sacrifice your car to entertain the gods. Approach its resting place, that they may drink thereof. O Indra Varuna, drink your fill, ye heroes of this effectual and sweetest soma. This juice was shed by us, that ye might quaff it. On this trimmed grass, be seated and rejoice you. And ultimate divinity does not eat or drink, but there are light things that are, given over to that purpose of involving themselves in the offerings. Hymn 759, 1 verse. Like a tree struck by lightning, may the man be withered from the root, who curseth us, who curseth not him, or, when we curse him, curseth us. Well, do not unto others if you don't want them to do unto you, right? But sometimes one curse is deserved and another curse is not. 760, 6 verses. I prudent, bringing power, treasure winner, with amicable eye that strikes no terror, come praising and kind-thoughted. To these houses, be not afraid of me. Be glad and joyful. Let these delightful houses, that are rich in power and store of milk, replete with wealth and standing firm, become aware of our approach. These houses we invoke, whereon the distant exile sets his thought, wherein dwells many a friendly heart. Let them beware of our approach. Thus greeted ye of ample wealth, friends who enjoy delightful sweets. Be ever free from hunger, free from thirst. Ye houses, fear us not. Kind greeting to the cattle here. Kind greeting to the goats and sheep, and of the food within our homes, kind greeting to the pleasant drink, full of refreshment, full of charm, of laughter and felicity. Ye ever free from hunger, free from thirst. Ye houses, fear us not. Stay here and come not after me. Prosper in every form and shape. With happy fortune will I come. Grow more abundant still through me. One of the things with some of the names of God is you have this idea that things are increasing, continually increasing, or continually expressing without limit, without loss. In 761, 2 verses. Since Agna with our fervent zeal we undergo austerity. May we be dear to sacred lore. May we be wise and live long lives. Agna, we practice acts austere. We undergo austerity, so listening to holy lore, may we grow wise and full of days. It's like retreats and other things like that. It's not just you're depriving yourself, you're reprogramming yourself with the revelation, with the inspiration, with the claims of sacred history and interpretation. In 762, 1 verse. Like a car warrior Agna here, grown mighty, Lord the brave, chief priest hath conquered footmen. Laid on earth's center, he hath flashed and glittered. Low may he lay our enemies beneath us. And what are our true enemies? In 763, 1 verse. We call with lauds from his most lofty dwelling, victorious Agna, conqueror in battles, may he convey us over all distresses. May the god Agna bear us past our troubles. And not all troubles would be literally burned away, so it's important that sometimes certain associations with some terms would not be included. In 764, 2 verses. From all that woe and trouble, may the waters save and rescue me. Whatever the raven, black of hue, flying out hitherward, hath dropped, may Agna Garhapatya save and set me free from all this guilt, which the black raven with thy mouth, O Narete, hath wiped away. Now the material animals would all be under the order of ultimate divinity, and, the light beings of the particular category of what they are, right? In 765, 3 verses. With retroverted fruit hast thou, O Apamarka, sprung and grown hence into distance, most remote, drive away every curse away from me. Whatever evil we have done, whatever vile or sinful act, with thee, O Apamarka, who lookest all ways, we wipe it off, if, with the cripple we have lived, whose teeth are black and nails deformed, with thee, O Apamarka, we wipe all that ill away from us. Now, back in the day, for some people would put black on their teeth, and they thought that made them look more attractive. And in 766, one verse. If it was in the wind or air's mid-region, if it was in the trees or in the bushes, to meet whose utterance forth stream the cattle, may that celestial power again approach us. And as far as it comes to some things, we are not, some of these things are not ever present, you could say. Well, almost nothing is ever present. Only God is omnipresent. Hymn 767, one verse. May sense return to me again, and spirit return my sacred power, and my possessions again lit fires aflame on lesser altars, each duly stationed, here succeed and prosper. It's important to realize that some places of worship are of greater importance to attend, or of greater reward to go and perform the same ritual than others. Hymn 768, 3 verses. Sarasvati, in thy decrees, Goddess, in thy celestial laws, accept the offered sacrifice, and Goddess, grant us progeny. Here is Sarasvati, thy fat libation, the sacrifice passing to the mouth of fathers. These most auspicious offerings have ascended to thee. Through these may we be full of sweetness, be kind, and most auspicious, be gracious to us. Sarasvati, may we be ever in thy sight. Now, some people would think of their desired sense of feeling as sweetness. In 769, one verse. May the wind kindly breathe on us. May the sun warm us pleasantly. May days pass happily for us. May night draw near delightfully. May dawn break joyfully for us. Hymn 770, 5 verses. Whatever sacrifice that man performeth with voice, mind, sacred formula, oblation, may, in accord with death, destruction, ruin his offering before it gain fulfillment. For him may sorcerers, destruction, demons strike and prevent fulfillment through their falsehood. Let gods by Indra sent destroy his butter, and let his sacrifice be ineffective. Let the two sovereigns, swift to come, like falcons swooping on their prey, destroy the butter of the foe. Whoever plots to injure us, I seize thine arms and draw them back. I bind a bandage on thy mouth. I, with the finger of the god Agni, have killed thy sacrifice. Behind thy back, I tie thine arms. I bind a bandage on thy mouth. With the terrific Agni's wrath have I destroyed thy sacrifice. And sometimes people do rituals against each other, so that's kind of what it is. But for us, as far as we're not misusing those things, like the previous hymn, we want this openness to us. But then for others, wouldn't we want them to do what is right and acceptable? In 771, one verse. We set thee round us as a fort. Victorious Agni, thee a sage, bold in thy color day by day, destroyer of the treacherous foe. And so see, we're qualifying why somebody would be an enemy. And I look at a certain conflict going on as I'm recording this, and it's like, if they broke their treaty, if they were treacherous to the country that is If they are fighting, why all this support? I mean, this is about the notes, right? Hymn 772, 3 verses. Rise up and look upon the share of Indra, fixed by ritual use. Whether ye poured libation, dressed, or took delight in it uncooked, libation is prepared. Come to us, Indra. The sun hath travelled over half his journey. Friends with their treasures sit around thee, waiting like heads of houses for their wandering chieftain, dressed in the utter and on fire. I fancy well dressed. I fancy is this new oblation. Quaff thickened milk of noon's oblation. Indra well pleased, O Thunderer, famed for many an exploit. And well, may our spirituality manifest in the animals that are under our care and in our cooking fires and stuff. Hymn 773, 11 verses. I'm trying to express some sort of understanding in between these, so some went smoother than others. So, inflamed is Agni, hero's charioteer of heaven. The cauldron boils, the meat is drained to be your food. For we, O Aspen's singers, sprung from many a house, invite you to be present at our banquetings. Aspen's, ye fire is all aglow. Your cauldron hath been heated. Come, here even now, O heroes, are the milch kine milked. The priests, ye mighty ones, rejoice. Pure with the gods is sacrifice, with cry of hail. That is the Aspen's cup, whence gods are wont to drink. Yea, the immortal ones accepted, one and all, and come to kiss that cup with the Gandharva's mouth. Milk, molten butter, offered when the mornings break. This is your portion, Asvins. Come ye hitherward, lords of the brave, balm lovers, guards of sacrifice. Drink ye the warm libation in the light of heaven. Let the warm drink approach you with its Hotar priest. Let the Varyu come to you with store of milk. Come, O ye Asvins, taste the meat that hath been drained. Drink of the milk provided by this radiant cow. Come hither, quickly come, thou milker of the kine, into the cauldron. Pour milk of the radiant cow, most precious Savitar hath looked upon the heaven. After dawn's going forth, he sends his light abroad. I invocate this milch cow, good for milking, so that the milker, deft of hand, may milk her. May Savitar give goodliest stimulation. The cauldron hath been warmed. Let him proclaim it. She, sovereign of all creatures, is come hither, yearning in spirit for her calf, and lowing, may this cow yield her milk for both the Asvins, and may she prosper to our great advantage. As dear house friend, guest welcome in this dwelling, to this our sacrifice, come thou who knowest, and Agni, having scattered all assailants, bring to us the possessions of our foemen. Show thyself strong for mighty bliss, O Agni, most excellent be thine effulgent splendors. Make easy to maintain our household lordship, and overcome the might of those who hate us. Fortunate mayest thou be with goodly pasture, and may we also be exceedingly wealthy. Feed on the grass, O cow, at every season, and coming hither, drink the limpid water. And before the dawn is the false dawn. So you get little horizontal little streaks of light. And it makes sense to reference the dawn coming with cows, right? For that reason, because, little streaks of milk coming down horizontally, right? Hymn 774, 4 verses. Black is the mother we have heard, from whom the red-hued pustules sprang. With the divine ascetic's root, I pierce and penetrate them all. I pierce the foremost one of these. I perforate the middlemost, and here I cut the hindermost asunder like a lock of hair. With spell that Tvashtar sent to us, I have dispelled thy jealousy. We mitigate and pacify the anger that thou feltest, Lord, Lord of religious rites by law. Anointed, shine thou forth here, forever friendly-minded. May we all with children Atharvavedas worship, and humbly wait on thee enkindled. And asceticism doesn't have to hurt, but things we encounter, there's cures for it somewhere. But, don't do yourself unnecessary harm just to, oh, well, there's going to be a cure somewhere. It's like, or expose yourself to disease and all that stuff. Hymn 775, 2 verses. Let not a thief or wicked man possess you. Let not the dart of ruder come anear you. Prolific, shining in the goodly pasture, drinking at pleasant pools the limpid water. Ye know the place, and rest content. Close gathered, called by many a name, come to me, goddesses with gods. Bedew with streams of fatness us, this cattle pen, and all this place. So, we're making sure to identify with the balance. Hymn 776, 6 verses. Rapidly dropping, quick to drop, more evil than the evil ones, more sapless than a dried up bone, swifter than salt to melt away. Pustules that rise upon the neck, pustules upon the shoulder joints, pustules that falling of themselves spring up on every twofold limb. I have expelled and banished all scrofulal harbored in the head, and that which bores the breastbone through, and that which settles in the soul. Scrofula flies, borne on by wings, it penetrates and holds the man. Here is the cure of either kind, the chronic and the transient. We know thine origin, Scrofula. Know whence thou, Scrofula, art born, and hast thou then struck this man here, him in whose house we sacrifice. Boldly drink Soma from the beaker, Indra, hero in war or treasure. Vritra slayer, fill thyself full at the midday libation. Thy self-possessing riches grant us riches. Well, we're talking about ailments, and in a way, I guess all three of the things that go into Soma would deal with the pain, right? Hymn 777, 3 verses. Ye Marutas, full of fiery heat, accept this offering brought for you, to help us, ye who slay the foe. Marutas, the man who filled with rage against us beyond our thoughts would harm us. O ye Vasus, may he be tangled in the toils of mischief. Smite ye him down with your most flaming weapon. Each year come, friends demand, the tuneful Marutas, dwelling in spacious mansions, troop together, exhilarating, gladdening, full of fiery heat. May they deliver us from binding bonds of sin. And to actually make a mistake, especially on a spiritual level, has a greater attachment than these other hardships that we're seeing mentioned. The violence and the destruction of the enemy, insects and all sorts of things that can cause physical malady, and so on.